Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, The Beauty of Business. I am your host, Gigi, and this channel is where we talk about all things business, from strategy to marketing to social media to even times where we're just stressed out and we need to talk about our mental health, because as business owners, you know, things can get a little bit crazy and sometimes we just need to chill out. So today's topic is a little different. Today we're talking about events. And I know, you're probably like, why are we talking about events? We're supposed to be talking about how to do business online and how to do business from your home. Well, events can be done from at home, whether it's an in-person event or it's a online event. And a lot of times people are confused. They're like, how can you work from home, especially in the event industry? Well, a lot of events actually happen, the planning and the logistics happen at home, as well as the promotion. And only the event itself happens obviously in person. So let's think about Coachella, for example. Coachella is a huge festival. It's an amazing environment. It takes thousands of people. It brings in billions of dollars, not only for the people that are working for the events, but also the town around in Palm Springs in California, as well as other festivals that do kind of the similar thing. But the amount of planning and the amount of work that goes into events, whether they're big like a festival or just maybe a small intimate group of people who want to know more about your product or services, is still happening behind the scenes before you get to the event, for weeks, maybe even months beforehand. And all that work can be done at home, and therefore by the time the event rolls around, everything's in place for a seamless event, and you only have to spend maybe one evening, or if it's a longer event, 2 or 3 days at the event. So this is why I love the events, because you spend so much time planning for it, and the actual events give you direct ROI. So we're going to go over a few reasons why you should be doing live events, whether that's online or offline, and then we'll go to some different ways you can be doing some online events, as well as ways you can do some offline events. So the first off is it's a great way to create brand recognition. Remember the first video I did about creating your brand and how customers really love companies that are nurturing their needs and their solutions and giving them solutions to their problems, and it's about the customer. Branding is also about recognition. It takes most customers about 7 times after seeing your brand to actually want to buy your product. So if you think about it, no matter how many times your website has been viewed, no matter how many times that email has been looked at, no matter how many times they've looked at your Instagram, they have to keep coming back at least 7 times for them to resonate that whatever you're selling is from this type of brand. And events are a great way to get them brand recognition, whether it's items like this, where you can put your logo on a cup, you can put your logo on a t-shirt, you can put your brand on other kind of swag merchandise, as well as the fact that you are the face of your brand, and people can get to know you and get to know what you do and how you do it, and kind of make those decisions about whether or not they want to be a part of your brand. So the other thing is, consumers want to know that person or that face of the brand, like I was saying before. And it's really an opportunity to create that face-to-face relationship, whether it's like this, I'm talking through my phone, I'm talking through a video camera, I'm talking through a streaming platform, and therefore you're getting the images of me and you can see who I am and what I'm about. Or I'm face-to-face and I'm talking to you and you can just get to know me and get to see who I am and how I am a part of the brand of that company. So it helps you build relationships. And as we all know in business, relationships help sales. The more you can feel like you're in a personal relationship, the more they feel that they are in a welcoming cocoon of a relationship with you, the more likely they're going to buy. That's how human beings work. The safety net of that is that we feel like we can trust you, and therefore we will end up making a sale as a business. So that's one of the reasons why events do so well with businesses, is because of the fact that it creates those relationships of people that you already know they're interested. You already know because they bought a ticket or something to come to your event, or they're there. And now you just have to close the sale. So it cuts kind of through all that other clutter. Lastly, events are really actually cost effective. And I know people are like, that's not true. Well, think about advertising, especially with like ads. So you have Facebook ads. You can put tons of money. There are people who are spending $10,000, $20,000 on Facebook ads, but their ROIs are not very high. Yes, they can definitely fix their Facebook ads, and they need to fix their Facebook ads. But another quick way to kind of test the water, especially with new products or new services, is to do an event. I do events all the time, and some events are great, some suck. And I remember the ones that were great, and I also remember the ones that weren't so great. And the ones that weren't so great, I learned what didn't work. So I remember a long time ago, I said I would never do anything for free. And someone said, why? And I said, because of the fact that if you're not able to invest a few bucks and a couple hours, then how can you buy a $1,000 package? You know, like, have you ever gone to an event that was free where you spent money or went back and spent money? Odds are no. But I have gone to places where I did spend money to go, and I did spend even more afterwards, or I came back. That's just habit. People pay for what they're interested in, and they get involved with things that they're interested in. They put money down. So I think it's important to understand that, and understand that it's important to think of events as a cost-effective way to actually market your current products and services, but also test the waters and see what new products and services you can offer people. You can get feedback, and that can actually lead to your next innovation of your product and your service. So lastly, we're going to talk about online events and offline events, and mainly some ideas on how you can run both, because I know a lot of people are like, well, I don't know how to do an online event, or my online events have not been successful, or what tools should I be using? So obviously the first one is Zoom. Everyone knows what Zoom is. Yes, you can run a Zoom event. It is very easily just like you have a Zoom meeting, as long as you have a landing page or some type of page where you can send people to sign up, and then you can share the Zoom link for your attendees. The other thing that you should be doing is music intros. So similar to YouTube videos where we have music in the beginning, or podcasts, how you have kind of a music trailer in the beginning, it's always great to have kind of music or something to set the tone. So think about your space as a way to set the tone for lighting. You can have dim your lights. You could have a nice background in the back. Let's say you have a fireplace or something cozy if it's wintertime, or even summertime, like a summer outdoor pit, barbecue pit. You can do that as well. But anything that allows your potential attendee to feel like they are in your experience. So maybe you have a room in your house that has a cool background wall, or a cool painting, something to give their attention there, as well as you can also do live shopping. So I really like this for those of you that have e-commerce brands, or any brand where you are selling a product or merch. The easiest way to do that is to do an Instagram Live, to do a Facebook Live. If you are selling shirts, wear your shirt. If you are selling makeup, wear your makeup, put your makeup on, do a makeup tutorial, and people can see how that is, but do it in real time. I think a lot of times people like to see things, and unfortunately a lot of times the videos are either, faster or sped up, or they only show the end result, and most people cannot recreate that. So a lot of times people want to see things in real time. It doesn't matter if you mess up. just like how I mess up in my own videos, like just keep going. As well as for Facebook Live, I think is great. So that's for Instagram Live. I think for Facebook Live, it's great to do actual shopping. So if you have a product, I think it would be a great idea to do a Facebook Live for a product. It's also great for a Facebook Live for a service. If you're offering like a challenge, a 3-day challenge, a email challenge, a boot camp. It's a great way to kind of offer maybe the first class or the first initial lead-in. Maybe that one is free or discounted, or you're giving a discount, to do a live about that discount. And that way, whoever is watching that obviously can respond to you, but you can also replay that on different days of the week. So that is my helpful tip. I a lot of times record things not when I put them out, just as I'm recording this, but I do this a lot on Instagram. So I will record myself in the car a few days before, talking about something that's coming up, and then I just store it and save it in Business Suite on Facebook Business Manager, and then make sure that it's scheduled to come out on the day that I want. So especially if it's a recurring event or workshop, you can record you talking about how amazing this workshop or course is, and then just schedule it on the days that you want people to know about it. So that's one of my tidbits. The other thing is called Hopin, and Hopin is a amazing new virtual platform for virtual events. It is for up to 100 attendees, and it's free. After that, I think it's about like $30 or so a month, but I think it's a great way to do some live events, and it's a little bit more higher end than Zoom, I would say, where you can add more things into it. You can integrate into other platforms. You can have speakers, different rooms. So it's really kind of catered to like a larger, almost live kind of mini summit or a conference. So I think that that would be something great for people who maybe are throwing a larger event or an event with multiple people or multiple speakers. So that's a great way to do live events for your business, or if you're collaborating with other businesses, to get your brand out there, because you really want to start to collaborate, so that way your brand is associated with things that are similar and other companies that are similar that have just a bigger piece of the pie, so that way you can all share the attendee and marketing kind of ROI on that. Lastly, offline events. So as we are now still kind of dealing with the pandemic and a lot of countries are opening, and lastly, for offline events, there's a few things you can do. You can definitely do, obviously your restaurants and your bars. Just make sure that they're up to protocol for whatever city you're doing or state, because of the different changes that we have, obviously because of the COVID restrictions and whatnot. The other thing that you can also think about is you can also think about boutiques, another brand you can collaborate with and have an event at their boutique, because they are showcasing basically their building as well as their space and their products. But as long as your products and services can actually correlate with that, or in the same kind of industry, then it actually will work. The only time I think it doesn't work is when you're both in the same exact industry. So for example, if you're a hairstylist but you work at another hair salon, you probably wouldn't have an event at another person's hair salon. So that wouldn't make sense. But let's say you sell jewelry, you could definitely have an event at a hair salon, because obviously their target audience would be the same. So you just want to make sure to choose a place that the target audience is the same for whatever you're doing that they're doing. Then everybody sees the value in it, and then it's a win-win. The other thing that you can do which is really great for panels. I love live panels, because you can get to talk to different people, see different perspectives, and you don't know who the other person is bringing in as well. And you have a built-in marketing platform because you have multiple people marketing at the same time. So for that, I would do co-working spaces. They definitely took a hit this past, I would say 2 years, just because of the pandemic. And a lot of people have been working from home like myself, but sometimes we want to get out of the house. So that is the reason why I love co-working spaces. And when I have the time and I want to kind of sit down and just really crank out all the work that I need to do, a lot of times I will spend the money and go to a co-working space, or I will get a membership and just get even the smaller membership, just so that I have the freedom to work outside the home sometimes when it's just a little bit too chaotic. So lastly, the other option is a nature area. I think a lot of people forget those as venues. So I'm talking about your beach areas. You have some, maybe some foresty state parks. You also have resorts, anything in like the desert. There are a lot of places that have Airbnbs in any of these places, or vacation homes, and those would be great for retreats, any kind of spiritual or health and wellness retreats, as well as just kind of getting back to nature and using nature as your backdrop. And that's a great way to get people who, let's say you are a life coach or a business coach, and you want to get people out of their brain. You want to get people out of their headspace, out of that space where it's very crowded and, busy people have busy minds and they just want to calm down and relax. And if you're doing any kind of conference or summit or event where it's geared towards people who are kind of the high strung out entrepreneur that we all are, any kind of nature inspired resort or environment would be a great place, and definitely easy to kind of social distance and still be safe, no matter what the restrictions are. So these are just some great ideas I think that we can all use, because sometimes it is hard to figure out how to do, what kind of events we should do online versus what kind of events we should do offline. And there definitely is a difference. And I hope that this video was helpful for those of you who are thinking about using events as a marketing tool. I have consistently used events as a marketing tool, and it's so amazing. And I really do love the kind of simplicity of it, but also the ROI of them, because of what it shows, you as a business owner, what you really need to focus on and who your customer is. And it's a great revenue stream, so we all should be doing that. If you really enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, The Beauty of Business. I am Gigi. If you would love to get hold of me, make sure to also follow me on Instagram at the Duchess Gigi on Instagram, and also on LinkedIn and Facebook. All those links are in the bottom in the description.